And we go all the way to Puerto Rico, yes. And we have in Puerto Rico now, we have turned him into a reporter. Can you imagine that? Mr. Robin Levy, Group Chief Executive Officer, Jamaica Cooperative Credit Union. Good morning, my brother.
Good morning, my brother, and good morning to all your listeners. Reporting to you live and direct from Puerto Rico.
¿Hablas español? No hablas español.
¿Tú hablas español? Muy bien.
Yes, yo hablaba mucho español
español.
Yeah, yo hablaba mucho español cuando en la escuela, pero no hablo mucho español ahora. Anyhow, that's all I know. Hold on, don't bother go no further because I can't help myself.
My new listeners think I'm tuning to a foreign station.
Exactly. Now you're there in Puerto Rico. Tell us what is happening in Puerto Rico. I guess it has something to do with the trade union movement all over the Caribbean. Tell us about it.
The credit union movement, yes. We have the annual meeting of the Caribbean Confederation of Credit Unions. Mm-hmm. So there are credit unions spread not only all across Jamaica, but all across the Caribbean, both English and Spanish-speaking countries. And once a year, we have a meeting where we all get together. We share ideas. We have speakers on leadership and how we can improve the lives of our members and so on. So that's where I am.
And what is good is that you're all working together, therefore, in terms of best practices. It's just amazing. I was looking at some of the, what they call the consolidated statistics, and it's quite interesting in that in terms of membership, it is showing that Jamaica has over 1 million members.
That is correct.
Right.
That is correct. We are aware that some of those are dormant accounts, but we don't take them off our membership roll because the money is still theirs and it's kept by the credit unions.
And you don't eat out the money?
No, we don't eat out the money. So if somebody has even left money in there, it may not be a lot of money, but if somebody has left money in there, they should go back and find it there, yes.
Well, I'd made a suggestion to the banks. Probably you'd be nicer to accept that suggestion. Many persons, when they have funds in financial institutions, when they get older, debenture sets in all Alzheimer's, and they don't remember. So I do hope that you have a policy where that you encourage persons to have a contact or two on the account. Persons can't do anything. It's just in case if you can't locate that person, you can make contact. Yeah. So I hope they
So what credit unions do, Vernon, is they occasionally will publish a list of persons, just their names, not their amounts, because we don't want it to be targeted, yeah?
Right.
To see, does anybody know where we can locate these persons? Because we have some good news for them, that kind of thing.
But I tell you something, that's done by the banks, but I can tell you, is that as effective, because when you have a long list, the person's not going to go through it. So it's best, I do hope they can encourage your investors or your partners to have at least two names as contacts. So if you can't find them, you can contact those persons, because you're more than likely at least one out of the two or three. It doesn't really matter. You can have all 10 if you want to, because all they are there is just as contacts. So if you can't find them. So
well, what you do, is when you open a credit union account, you're supposed to specify beneficiaries in case anything happens to you, because again, there are benefits to joining a credit union that you don't have if you join a bank. Right. For example, if you take out a loan, the loan is automatically insured up to a certain amount. So if something were to happen to you, you can't work, or, not that you're unemployed, but if you can't work, say you get a disability, or if you, God forbid, you pass away, the debt dies with you.
Yes.
And your beneficiaries would actually get whatever savings, shares, and so on, the benefit of that you have in the credit union. So we have those persons' contact information as well as the holder of the accounts, the members' information, and we try to contact these people, but sometimes it just can't be found.
But I would always add another contact. See, because the beneficiary is there because the person wants a person to benefit from it. And normally we use someone who is of the same age or similar age, and both of them might pass. So I would suggest very strongly that we have other persons on it as just general contact. If you have two persons, if anything happens to that person, then no problem. Mark, I would have a problem with the credit union.
Situation, though.
Yes.
Vernon, I was just saying the usual situation we find is that persons have migrated with their entire families. Usually.
Right.
That's what happens. Yeah.
Yes, that is what normally
happens. Saying?
Yeah, that's what normally happens. That's why I say it's good to have persons outside who are not related and so on. But the thing is, if you have shares in the credit union, and because it's really shares, not just money, and you can't contact them, what will happen to those shares after a while if you stay for an extended period?
No, they stay right there. They sit right there. An account, we treat it like a savings account, effectively. And if the person walks back in, we renew bring them back up to date to their membership, get their new contact information. And
but you don't have the situation with the bank where if it's there for, because it's not a bank as such, where if it remains for an extended period, then the government would be able to take it over. You don't have that kind of situation with the credit unions.
No, we do not have that situation.
That's quite interesting. I understand that because
we do not turn over that. We got the government of Jamaica to agree that because we are effectively a member-owned organization, that there are these beneficiaries. There are these beneficiaries who are named that those funds that actually belong to those beneficiaries. Mm-hmm. If they have deceased or the account is over long, so we try to contact those persons and go down the line to contact them.
Right. Now, I see Jamaica was trying to find. I find that in terms of, I wasn't too sure because it didn't state on the post. I looked at the statistics. It doesn't state whether or not it's in US dollars or whatever it is. I assume that more than likely it's in US dollars.
You mean the Caribbean Confederation financial statement?
Right.
Or you mean the member statistics? Yes, it's quoted in US dollars.
It's US. I noticed that although Jamaica, which is quite interesting, has 1 million in terms of membership. Market some would be dormant, but I'm sure the same thing would happen to Trinidad. Trinidad has half the amount, 534,000. Yet the shares
members, but they have more assets.
Sorry, members.
Richer than us.
That is what I found.
And that's not surprising.
That's what I found quite interesting. You have more persons.
It's unfortunate, Vernon, but not surprising.
Yes. And it is quite interesting all the time. So hold on now. So this is very interesting. While politically we couldn't unite, we have our countries working together. Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Belize, Bermuda. I gather that some countries are not part of it, I think. But Bahamas not part. Oh yeah, can't. But Barbados is a non-affiliated credit union. I wondered about that. That seems unusual.
No, man, Barbados is very much here, but they may have one or two credit unions that are not members of the league and therefore aren't directly affiliated to the. Yes. Unfortunately, a few movements do have, small splits. They may have a credit union or two or three or four even that are not a part of the national setup. And it is the national setup who control the Caribbean Confederation.
Right. I tell you what, we're going to be taking a break shortly, then we come back and you can probably report to us about some of the things that's coming out of that conference because it might have impact on Jamaica. And I'd love to hear that when we come back. For those who are just joining us, we're talking with Mr. Robin Levy. Yes, he's from Jamaica and he's all the way there in Puerto Rico. They're having the Caribbean Confederation of Credit Unions, right? So they're meeting there now. And he is Mr. Robin Levy is the Group Chief Executive Officer for the Jamaica Cooperative Credit Union. And as a consumer advocate, listeners, I've been pushing for Jamaicans to become more involved with the credit union movement. Been very stable over the years. I haven't heard of any credit union. They have come together. They have been mergers, but not falling apart. So it sounds like they're doing something right. All right, we're going to go for the break right now. You're listening to Rhythm FM, coming to you live from Kingston, Jamaica.
Vernon Darby, roll, ready for roll.
Welcome back. You're listening to Rhythm FM, coming to you live from Kingston, Jamaica. And of course, this is the Business Hub, and we're speaking with Mr. Robin Levy, Group Chief Executive Officer for the Jamaica Cooperative Credit Union. And he is at a conference there in Puerto Rico. You heard him chatting his full Spanish. If he find girls over there beside him, he can't come back to Jamaica. That's another matter. Mr. Levy? We seem to have.
Please remember to call me Robin. Please remember to call me Robin Vernon, not Mr. Lee.
Ah, you say you like me. I don't have any title like that. I love that. No, you only have about Lord, just about 2 more minutes. Just briefly tell me about the conference itself. If there's anything that came out of that conference, especially about artificial intelligence. I know you're going to have a discussion. You had a discussion about that yesterday. I don't know. Anything that we can help us, so you can go ahead. You only have about 2 minutes left.
Yes, so we had quite a bit of discussion, a couple of presentations on the use of artificial intelligence, and of course, some possible dangers from it as well, and also on digitization. We're looking at ways to be more efficient in what we do in serving our members, but at the same time, we have to be careful to protect members' information and their data. And we have to be responsible, because artificial intelligence does mean sharing of information to build the algorithms. And what Jamaicans should take away from it is, yes, it's almost inevitable that there will be some kind of use of artificial intelligence to serve them better. But that financial institutions, at least credit unions, I'm sure the banks are the same, will make every effort to make sure that their data is protected.
Right.
If you wanted more than that, Vernon.
Well, no, that's good. But what I can tell you what I love to see. I love when I call the banks and the credit union. It takes forever to get through them. All I want when I call, give it my proper password. Probably you might have some local security where you only can get certain type of information. But I would love to give it a call and said, me tell I want to close my account. And it says, I'm sure it will not understand. Patwa, of course, but you say to me, Mr. Darby, thanks for calling us. We suggest, we have noticed you have not lodged the money for 4 days. And how about taking out an investment account? Because computers can do all of that, and that will make life far easier. So I would love to see artificial intelligence. So general questions I want
I'm glad you raised that. I'm glad you raised that part, because definitely those are called chatbots. It's actually a computer that can actually make those calls or take someone else. If there's a very simple request, like what's my account balance and what's the last payment I made once you identified yourself,
right,
we should be able to have an automated answering system for that.
Right.
And they call those chatbots.
Right.
And members are going to see more of that too. You may not even know it's not a person you're talking to until you perhaps try to have a more personal conversation and you're told, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that.
We only have 30 seconds left. Any final point you want to make about the conference?
Well, it's really about collaboration, not just between credit unions within Jamaica, but across the Caribbean. We all have the same mission to improve the lives of the residents in our countries.
Right.
We are not in competition. We're not in competition with credit unions. So the plan is to collaborate more.
All right. We have to go now. So thank you. Thank you very much. We have to leave you. Thank you very much, Mr. Robin Levy.
My pleasure.
Yes. All the best. Have a lovely trip back home. Mr. Robin Levy, Group Chief Executive Officer, Jamaica Cooperative Credit Union.